Hello and good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. We're about to get started today, so I'd like to thank you for attending TalentQuest webinar on our Enhanced Learning Management System. My name is Taylor Blake, and I'm a member of the communication team here at TalentQuest. We're going to spend the next half hour with you discussing our LMS and how you can utilize it to boost talent management effectiveness at all levels within your organization. Just a few housekeeping notes before we get started. After the presentation, we have time for a brief question and answer session. If you have questions, please send them via the question box that appears at the top right of your screen. Also, after the webinar, we will forward a copy of the presentation as well as a copy of the recording to everybody here on the session today. Without further ado, our presenter today is Kevin Sessions, president here at TalentQuest. Over the course of his career, Kevin has been instrumental in the growth of many companies through strategic planning, effective team building, market and competitive analysis, designing and implementing sales and marketing programming, establishing partnerships, and other brand-related development efforts. Prior to joining TalentQuest, Kevin served as Vice President of Business Development and Sales for WebRooms, a provider of web-based housing management software. Kevin has some great information to share with everyone today, so I'd like to welcome him and turn the presentation over. Welcome, Kevin.
Thank you, Taylor. I appreciate it, and good afternoon to everybody that has taken the time out of their busy days to join the webinar this afternoon. So look forward to spending the time with you this afternoon. As Taylor mentioned, if you have questions as we go throughout this, please make sure that and submit those, and hopefully we'll have time to address all of those at the end. Okay, so what we want to do today is really talk about TalentQuest's Enhanced Learning Management System. And for those of you that may not be fully aware and knowledgeable of TalentQuest, maybe I'll take 2 minutes and give you a little bit of an overview on who TalentQuest is and what we specialize in, and then we'll spend the rest of the time actually diving into the platform itself. So, who are we? Well, TalentQuest is a provider of web-based talent management solutions and services. So at the really heart of our offerings is our talent management platform that address all phases of the talent management lifecycle, from what we do from an assessment standpoint, how we manage people, how we develop them, how we retain them. So many modules in our talent management platform. We've got an assessment module, we've got performance management, compensation planning, 360 surveys, the LMS that we're going to take a look at today, of course, succession planning, survey capabilities, etc. Additionally, we have a large array of consulting solutions that really wrap around, support, and inform the very processes that the software is automating. We've got a large number of PhD and IO level psychologists on staff that work with our clients to help define and refine these processes. So everything from competency development to process consultation around performance management, succession planning, those types of things. Defining and executing management training and leadership development programs, doing coaching work, assessment solutions, those types of things. And then lastly, we also provide some really neat technology to produce very interactive, very experiential, and immersive training and development and assessment experiences. So really taking e-learning and assessment capabilities to the next level by leveraging 3D, virtual reality, and augmented reality to create these, again, incredibly immersive experiences. So that's a little bit about who we are and the solutions that we provide, and with that, we'll jump right in and take a look at the new learning management system. I'm going to log in as a user here, Carmen Hernandez, and Carmen is a manager within our demo company, Verum Analytics. This is a fictitious company, but representative of the platform and how it can be used inside any of your organizations. Our platform is really designed to be very flexible, very configurable, so we can configure it around your processes, your content, your workflow. and then the platform will then automate those processes, send your employees notifications when they need to do something, reminders when they're approaching a due date and haven't done something, and then so they're proactively notified from that manner. We do have the ability to brand the entire application. As you can see here, logos, colors, images, etc., to allow you to have your branding elements within the platform itself. So let's jump right in. We're going to jump into the application here, and Carmen, as we can see, I'm logged in as Carmen, where I can see my name and picture up here in the upper right-hand corner. Again, extending the branding elements and capabilities within the application as well. So what do I see when I log in? As I mentioned, the system's going to proactively notify us when we need to do something. But it's also nice when I jump into the system to know exactly what I need to do as well. So this task panel that we have front and center is telling me, Carmen as a user, what it is I need to do. Now in this example, we've got most all of our modules turned on to be able to demonstrate the full platform. But as we can see, I can see what it is I need to do, from assessments to my learning task, to 360s, compensation, etc. We also see a calendar in here to show me of what any upcoming events I have. I can also see very quickly, since I'm a manager, I have my team panel to give me visibility into what my team's doing, where they are, where they may be ahead, where they may be behind, as well as seeing my own goal information down below. Now, with respect to, as we think about learning, as we can see here, Carmen has a number of courses. She has 4 courses that she has been enrolled into and that she needs to complete. So with the click of a button, she can see what those 4 courses are and then decide which one she wants to jump into first. But before we do that, let's talk about how do we get enrolled in these types of courses. Well, there's many different ways that we can enroll users into courses. We can automatically enroll them for any types of required courses. Those could be compliance-based, they could be safety-based, they could be job-specific. So any courses that individuals need to complete for either being a new hire or being with a particular job or position, we can create those auto-enrollment rules. We can also set it up where employees can enroll themselves into certain courses, and again, you can control that, and then also give managers, of course, the ability to enroll users into that as well. So here we can see again what those courses are and choose what I want to jump into. So I can pick a particular course. In this case, maybe let's say we want to jump into the leadership course, these TED Talk courses, and I can, with one click, be taken directly into that course. So you can see from a usability perspective, 2 clicks and I was actually into seeing this particular course, the particular components of this course, to be able to take action on it. Okay, so lots there, but before we walk through this particular course, let's look at our learning dashboard that we see here. So again, as a user, I can see what those courses are that I'm enrolled in from here. If I want to change the view of that, maybe I like these stacked in more of a list view. That's a user preference. I can change that view back from a list view to a tile view, whatever I want to see. So I can see my courses, and the system really supports all different types of courses. And those may be SCORM files, they may be AICC files, they may be tin can files. We can support all of that. It may be videos. It may be a link to a document that needs to be read, reviewed, and acknowledged. As well as it could be an instructor-led training. It could be a webinar supporting all types of courses. Also really designed to be able to really support micro-learning capabilities as well. So being able to take what have traditionally been larger chunks of learning and breaking those down into more bite-sized chunks that people can more easily digest and do so throughout the course of a day versus having to sit down in one big setting for 25, 30 minutes, etc. All right, I also have the ability here as a learner to really quickly look at my course catalog. Now we can have many different course catalogs in the system, and you can of course control who has access to those catalogs to make sure that you're presenting relevant information to the user, to your learner. It's all about making sure that we put the information at their fingertips at the right time, when and where they need it. So I can peruse through this. I can also see any learning plans or learning paths that I'm associated with, and this is a combination of courses that need to be completed in a particular order, so I can see those learning plans. Now, I can also search through and say, I only want to look at an e-learning catalog, or show me only just our webinars. So again, the ability to create multiple catalogs and allow the user to search through those. We may also, when we think about targeting learning and development, it's important to understand how do we categorize our courses, not only from a catalog perspective, but maybe how do we tie them to the competencies that we're measuring in the organization from a performance management standpoint, from a succession planning standpoint, to understand the connection between how learning and development impacts performance and vice versa. So as you can see, we can create many different categories as well and tie our courses to these categories. So if I only wanted to search on leadership training or compliance training or safety training, I have the ability to do that. So lots of different ways for me as a user to navigate through and see what is my required courses that I've been enrolled in, searching through the course catalog, looking at different categories based on maybe skill sets or areas I want to develop. Now lastly too, just from a usability perspective, if I want to come in and say, let me just see what do we have in here on leadership, and I can just start typing leadership into our search area, it's going to present all of the courses in the catalogs that I have visibility to as a user that address leadership. So just another nice, easy way of really minimizing the number of clicks that a user has to take to really surface and bring information very quickly and easily to the user when and where they need it. It is important to mention within all of this as well is that the application is completely responsive. So if we want to look at this from on a tablet or a mobile device, the system is completely responsive, is going to respond to the size of the screen. Okay, a couple other things we can see in here. Of course, I have my learning calendar as we've discussed, and I can see what it is I need to complete on each of these particular days. Can add those very easily to my work calendar or personal calendar outside of the system as well. And then I have my own activity information right here within the system as well. Now, as we've enhanced our LMS, we've really focused on a number of things. Usability is critically important, right? It needs to be a system that our users can interact with very easily, that doesn't take much training, that, as we said, allows them to very quickly and easily get into their courses, as well as to be able to search for relevant courses that they need to help them in their job. In addition to that, we've also built some gamification capabilities into the system as well. Very important to allow these types of things and to create some competition, inside the organization. So we can create leaderboards, and we can have as many different leaderboards as we want. But we can see here in the Verum Olympics, Carmen, who I'm logged in and is here, is on top of the leaderboard, just ahead of Rollo and Barbara. Now we also have the ability to create badges and give your users the ability to earn those badges by completing either a course or a number of courses or a certain number of hours, flexibility around how we need to do that. But encouraging, again, this gamification capability within the organization to make learning more fun and within the environment and to encourage others. So another thing that we really focused in on in the enhancements that we've made with the LMS. Okay, so good bits of information in here on those pieces. Let's actually take a look at a couple different types of courses that we have here. So let's start with this example for an employee handbook. So this is a pretty simple type of course. We can see one click, I'm into the course itself. I see some instructions around working at Verum, the actual handbook itself, and this is kind of more of a read and then accept. So we can control what the course assets are, lots of flexibility in here from an administrative perspective to set these types of courses up. So if I want to jump into this particular course itself, I can see some quick information about working here. Now I can jump to the next asset within this course, which is actually the handbook itself. I can scroll through, read that information, and continue on, and actually, once I've done that, accept and acknowledge that I've read that particular course. So one simple example of being able to present a file within a course, read it, accept it. As we think about other types of courses, we mentioned the TED Talks example, where this is kind of more of, again, our micro-learning approach, where you can take bite-sized chunks of information. We can see these are a series of TED Talks around leadership that we put in here. This one's by Drew Dudley, gives me a little description of it. And to jump into this, I can click in to the video, gives me the ability to start playing right from here, and also the ability to kind of throw this into full screen mode as well. So very quickly, very easily can embed any of our videos that we want right into the system, as more and more organizations are shifting to, again, quick bursts of information, leveraging video a lot, leveraging more interactive, engaging ways to work with your content inside the organization. So easy for me to, again, quickly launch that type of course. Once I've watched this one, if I want to scoot to the next one, I can move on to the next activity within my within this particular course. Another types of examples that we can do in here, if we want to, look at where we have instructor-led training and give people the ability to sign up for different areas. So here we can see information about this particular course around collaboration and teamwork, and I can provide a summary, information about my instructor, important documents for the course. Here's the dates and options that it's available, and I can choose to sign up for whichever one I want, and then add me to that particular session. So different options in here of the type of information. This one also has a survey at the end of it. Maybe we want to put assessments in here. We also have focused heavily in here in being able to provide social capabilities within this. So if we want to add any collaboration capabilities with learners in a particular course, we can do so. We can add blogs, we can add forums, we can add communication threads to allow our learners to interact and collaborate with each other within a particular course. So again, lots of good information in here. The key being, how do we easily put the right information in the fingertips of our users, again, when and where they want it, while they're at work, in front of a desktop, if they're out and about on their phone, if they're at home, making sure that they get that on-demand learning when and where they want it. Okay, so as we think about the different components here, there's also some interesting things that we want to be able to see maybe from a reporting capability. So one of the other things that we've done as we've gone through this is really tried to look at how do we provide some more visual dashboards within the system as well. So we've got different ways to access this information, and we can really look at some of the analytics that we have in here. So now I'm looking at within this some of the dashboard capabilities within the learning management system as well. So very quickly, this is a dashboard, kind of just overall activity. The goal, again, making it visual, making it easy to digest, so we can see what's going on from the number of sessions, from course completions, from user enrollments, and I can look at that on a monthly, weekly, daily basis. I get some information about what's going on inside the LMS. How many users do we have? How many courses? How many modules within those particular courses? And how many course categories have we created? Also, at this first high level, I can see user information to understand progress and time spent in the system. The top courses that we see in here. Also, we can see where our users displayed and where they located, on an interactive map as well. So overall information from a dashboard perspective. I can also click in to see, maybe I want to look at my dashboard on just learner information. So how many total learners do we have? How many enrolled, what's the status of those? How many unique sessions do we have by month? Who are our most active users within the LMS? Again, good information to be able to see. Active users, new registrants, etc. So good dashboard information on our learners in general. And then we also get the same thing for our courses and understanding what's going on from a course perspective. As we saw on the first dashboard, some of that we're just providing a little more granularity here. Total number of courses that are visible, how many are hidden that we haven't made active, how many total modules, etc. What's the enrollment information by course, so we can see what our courses are and the percentage of people that are enrolled in each of these courses. How many new courses have we created over time? What are our most visited courses? Seeing that information. So again, visual ways to really represent and digest this information. Now we also have in here as well lots of different reports that you would typically expect to be able to look at course activity, enrollment, completion, grades if you have assessments, those types of things that can all be run on demand on a course by course type of basis as well. Okay, so as we've walked through this and navigated through lots of different capabilities here within the system itself, just to recap, we've tried to focus very heavily here on in this enhanced LMS that we've provided, tried to focus on usability, making it easy for the learners to interact with the system, making sure that it can be done from a mobile perspective so they can learn on the go, that we can present all different types of courses, that we can and do that very easily and very quickly, again, do that in a very comprehensive nature as well, so that we can make sure that learning supports our other efforts within the talent management life cycles, and learning interacts with performance interacts with learning. If I want to see a particular employee and what gaps that we identified through their performance review and lower rated competencies, how do I see what courses are going to be relevant to address that and automatically enroll them in? So the integration in a very seamless way of all that information is critically important. It's also important to note that, of course, any and all of the courses that somebody completes will automatically update their profile as well. So any courses, again, will go onto that profile for you to be able to see from a learning transcript standpoint. So with that, I think we'll open it up to any questions and see what we have.
All right, I've got one question here. So I think you answered this towards the end, but how do I know which courses my employees need to take?
Yeah, so again, there's certainly reports that you can run with that, Taylor, to see what they need to take. But as a learner, and managers have visibility to that information to understand what courses their employees have been enrolled in, and through the reporting and areas. As a end user, I can see right from my homepage again the particular courses that I've been enrolled in. So we see in our task area here that I've got 4 that I'm enrolled in. Very quickly, I'm going to know exactly what those are. And again, just to reiterate, the system is going to continuously remind people, notify them initially via email that they have been enrolled in a course, but also remind them if they're approaching a due date associated with a course and they haven't completed it, they're going to get those reminder emails.
All right. Second question, if we already have training material, can we use this LMS to deliver it? Absolutely.
So there's lots that we can do there. Obviously, any of the content that you have, if you're not currently using an LMS, we can certainly work with you to leverage the content that you already have by creating that content in those courses within our LMS and loading them in there and creating them, the different assets they have. So easy to do. If you're coming from another system, there's also the ability to, of course, migrate over and pull in historical records so that you don't lose the transcript information of what courses have been completed already over time, as well as then to in bulk ways to create those course shells and associate the learning assets of those courses to those to the course shells as well. So can certainly leverage any and all of the training that you've done. To add to that, I think it's important to mention that if you have needs for creating new content and are interested in doing that in new and exciting ways, that's certainly something that we can help with as well. We announced the fourth quarter of last year an acquisition we made of a company called Purple Frame Technologies, and really, really exciting capabilities there to allow you to create new types of content that, again, as I mentioned at the very beginning, much more interactive, much more experiential, and very immersive. So leveraging 3D, leveraging animation to deliver content in new and different ways. And it's exciting stuff. Would love to talk to you about how to leverage that and the return on that investment and the retention of the knowledge that comes from that is much, much greater than traditional learning because it's more entertainment and it's more interactive. It's more like games and watching movies. It's a new paradigm for sure, and we think is going to have a big impact on training and development within organizations today.
Well, excellent. I think that's about all the time we have for today. If you have any questions, please reach out to letstalk@talentquest.com. We'll be sending out a copy of this presentation to everyone who attended. Please have a nice day.
Thanks so much and appreciate your attendance.